Hey everybody, how are you? It's Peter again for MLB Trade Rumors and Discussions. It's Wednesday, March 11, 2020. Keeping this going every single day for the rest of the year, just like I promised you guys. Today I want to talk about two things. One extremely important thing that's really no joke, and then one about what surprised MLB team that I think nobody really is talking about that I think can bother a lot of teams this year. They're not going to make the playoffs, but they really could be a pain in the ass. But that'll be for later. I I really want to talk about the virus right now and how that's going to impact MLB. If you looked at what happened with LeBron James and the NBA, they were talking about maybe they're not going to make any fans stay in the game. It's just getting a lot worse. Okay, it's getting to the point now. I went to the supermarket today. It looked like the end of the world. Okay, what I don't know what MLB plans to do. I don't know where we're gonna be at this point. But I know even Rudy Gobert in NBA said they said that he has possibly the virus. They also talked about having Gary Sanchez in MLB possibly having it. If any of these guys have it, God forbid they are next to people and they are next to all these coaches and these other players. Who knows what can happen? And this is very serious for MLB. I don't know if MLB is going to be delayed. I don't know if what kind of precautions MLB is taking. But this is a very, very serious thing. And us MLB fans and these MLB teams, everybody needs to pay attention to what's happening right now because it just seems like I'm not a panicky person. I'm not that person. If you're going to get it, you're going to get it. But going into an MLB team with 40,000 people there, next to each other, touching everything, if one or two people have it, now you're bound to have a bunch. So that's something that I'm hoping gets fixed, and especially these players who travel all over the world, constantly moving around. I just want to know what MLB plans to do. I'm not sure if they really mentioned it yet or addressed how much they are going to do something, but time will tell with that. It's a very, very scary thing. Getting rid of that thing, I just thought I'd mention that because there's not much news I wanted to talk about in MLB, but I do want to talk about a team that every time I look at them more and more, the more I'm like, wow, this team can get better and better. And you see that they have the talent, but I'm telling you, they're progressing a lot faster than teams are, and I think they're doing the right thing. And that's the Toronto Blue Jays. The Toronto Blue Jays look very tough with Biggio and Bichette and Gurriel and Guerrero and Jansen, who's a pretty good catcher. And they signed Ryu. They got Anderson from Milwaukee, who honestly has talent. A few years ago was really good. So you got to watch out for the Blue Jays. And if Shoemaker can come back, because before he got hurt last year, that guy was doing really well. Giles is a good closer, so there's a lot of things. Gerchek is a good hitter. There's a lot of things that the Blue Jays are doing. Travis Shaw is a bounce back candidate. So if I'm Toronto and if I'm in the American League East, right, Boston's going the wrong way and Baltimore's already out. So I don't know. I wouldn't want to play Toronto 19 times. That's a team that's scary. They'll drive you crazy. They gave some teams problems last year at the end, and now they're just going to get better. So look out for the Blue Jays. Look, I'm not. They're not gonna probably. They're probably gonna win 77, 80 games, but they will get better and better. They may shock a lot of people, but I'm telling you, for the Yankees are the favorite in that division. Tampa Bay's right next to them, but you play Toronto, they can hurt some people towards the end. That's a really good team, and before I was a big Diamondback fan, I was a diehard Blue Jay fan, and I'm talking about before Diamondbacks came in existence, right? I was a Diamondback fan once they came, but I was a Joe Carter fan as a kid, and before he hit that home run, I was a Carter fan. And Toronto was such a great place to play baseball, to watch, and it was a lot of fun. And you can see Toronto getting back into it, just like when they had Batista and Encarnacion. You're seeing how when they played Texas, how crazy it was in Toronto. So good for Toronto, and hopefully they do well because honestly, I like to see other teams and I like to see young players develop and then do things good for them. I hope they do well. Talking about the Diamondbacks, really quick, I always talk about my Diamondbacks. Who They were talking about shuffling lineups together and who should bat first. And I mentioned this, and a couple of people told me they think Starling Marte should bat first. And I don't, unless there's a lefty, I guess. I like Cattell batting first. I really do. I like Cattell Marte batting first in the beginning because it just sets the tone. I don't think he has to worry about putting pressure on getting hits with men on base. I think just putting him first, or at least second, right? First or second, depending on who's pitching. But I like Cattell batting first. I really do. I feel like him being a switch hitter, he just gets things done. He still can hit you 30 home runs from the leadoff spot. He has a great eye. and I like to see that. If not, then there's a couple other guys. Really depends, right? If there's a lefty and I want to see LaCastro batting first, maybe Starling Marte, excuse me, at some games. I just don't see Starling as a guy who bats first. I can see Starling more as a number two, number three. Honestly, I was thinking of him as a number three because when he goes to that ballpark in Arizona, he's gonna rake. So it's just an interesting thing. The Diamondbacks, I don't like inconsistency with the lineups. The problem with that is guys never can get settled. But in the Diamondbacks standpoint, they have so many guys that can hit 25 to 30 home runs and do a lot of the same thing. I don't think it matters. I think the real spot that matters is the leadoff hitter and the number 3 and 4 hitter. Everywhere else, like the 5, 6, I don't think that matters. But the main one is the number one. I really think the number one, whoever sets the tone, is going to be a really important part. But I know Torrey likes to shuffle things and set things up, and I know he's going to want to get guys in there. So, and the Diamondbacks can play today. So that's just an interesting take. And let me know who you think is going to start the lineup, and let me know if you guys think the Blue Jays are going to be really good, because I really do. I really think they're going to do better than they are expected and earlier than they are expected. Talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye.